this is Sims Player 325, and I'm going to be doing a build video for you. Of course, it's another speed build video because YouTube needs another one, right? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of deciding what shape I want this island home to be. So I'm just kind of determining where I wanted things to go. I ended up deleting a lot of the video because it just was taking so much time. It ended up being like a couple hours of footage, which I didn't realize when I was recording, because I recorded it over a couple of days while I built this. And so I didn't realize at first that I was, getting crazy amounts of footage. So anyways, this is pretty much the ending shape. I think I changed a couple of little things later on. But then I started pulling these windows from the island living because I wanted it to be a very airy kind of islandy home, because, it's an island dream home. So, but I did end up putting these windows with these little shutters, which I thought was really cute. And I used the other windows as the shutters. And then I just put in some extra smaller windows just kind of to bring it all together. Ended up doing a bunch of things on the exterior. I ended up using those long windows that are kind of open and like slat windows, but I ended up not liking them and ended up taking them off later on. And I don't think it shows that in the build, but you'll see them in the build and then you won't see them all of a sudden. And the reason is because I cut that out. I cut out taking those out. So here I'm starting on the kitchen. Kind of thinking very kind of beachy vibe, but also modern kitchen, because I just felt like that the mom or the family of Sims would want something a little more modern. They've obviously got a little bit of money, or simoleons, so they end up going ahead and putting these cabinets. I think they're from Parenthood, I'm not sure, but anyways, I end up changing the color because I started with kind of a brown color and I didn't like it after a while. Probably because I did the floors that kind of really dark gray, and I just felt like the brown kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So I ended up going with gray counters, and kind of a gray and white and black motif in the room. Kind of kept everything kind of that color. I changed the colors of the chairs a couple of times, I think, before I finally ended up leaving them brown. Was thinking of doing them couple of different colors, but ended up just going with the brown at the end because I end up putting a rug underneath them and it brings out the chairs, and kind of separates them from the floor because I don't like that brown against the gray at all. Here I'm just kind of sticking a bunch of clutter around so that I can clutter up the kitchen. I like to have a lot of clutter in my builds. I like for them to look really lived in. The only problem with that is that I'm not using any CC in this build, so it gets really complicated and really difficult because you get a lot of things that span packs, because there's not a single pack that has like the best stuff for clutter. So you'll find that I prefer to build with CC in my game, and I will in the future be building on here with CC for my Sims. But currently we are building with no CC. This is a no CC build that will be available in the gallery. You can change it or love it. If you love it just the way it is, you can live in it. Whatever you prefer. So I just kind of get the kitchen kind of settled, and then I cut through a bunch of me creating the kitchen, mostly because, like I say, this footage got really super long. This is a massive build with a lot of clutter and a lot of items and things. So you'll see me kind of cut out some parts here, and then later on in the video I actually forgot to record a little bit. I forgot to turn on recording when I was building, after, getting up to make dinner and then coming back. So you'll see that when I get to the kids' rooms and stuff. So for right now I've got pretty much the kitchen pretty much finished, and as you can see, it ends up being kind of a white and black motif. Later in a few minutes I'm going to actually change the color of those curtains to kind of a darker color. Oh no, actually I leave them like that. I forgot. So anyways, then I had some issues with the stairs. I had to get those straightened out and got the stairs back in, so that they could go up to the parents' room or the master bedroom, whichever you would like to call it, because who knows, maybe you have this for a group of Sims who are college students and, just are going ahead and carpooling their money, a bunch of roommate Sims. So anyways, so here I'm building like a little bathroom off the side of the house. I think I ended up stretching it out a little bit. And then I put in a little laundry room over on the other side. Ended up having to move everything around a little bit in order to fit it in. And then that's about the time that I decided that I didn't like those little windows that I had beside the windows. And I started taking out the slat windows. And then I started starting on here, and then I'm a very unfocused builder, so I ended up going over here and like editing the size of the building because that's how I build, very, very, very erratically. So if you're looking for a straight, here's how I build room A, room B, room C, you're never going to see that on any of my videos because that's not me. I'm a very, very disorganized builder. I like to build what I want to build, and I'll find things when I'm building, and I'll end up throwing a bunch of it on the floor and then moving it into different rooms and things because I hate losing stuff in the menus. It's such a pain. So I end up actually going ahead and doing that quite a few times. You'll see me set stuff out that'll end up later on in a different portion of the home, like this couch that you just see me, put down and stuff. So you'll see me set out a bunch of stuff and then end up moving it to somewhere else. That's kind of how I build. I kind of put things out that I like and then figure out where I want them to go. And sometimes they end up in the build and sometimes they don't. So it honestly just depends. Another thing that I do is I tend to buy things, set them on the thing, and then pull the item away and then stack them up because they stay at the same height. I know there's like a cheat that you can do, not a cheat, but like a mod that you can do that has a little shelf that you can put in to where you don't have to move your item. But I have not downloaded that yet. I keep meaning to and just haven't done it. So I keep doing this like lame thing where I put things on the shelf and then move the shelf out of the way. But anyways, it works. So up and I just went back to the kitchen, so you can kind of see where I went with the kitchen and what happened with the kitchen, and you'll of course see that at the end of the build where I show like the photos of the final finish. I didn't end up using that little chair that I'm putting back there, but I was thinking that could be like a little place where the little boy who lives here could hide and kind of or the little children who live here, I guess. I figure it's a boy because I made a boy's room, so you could definitely rearrange that and make it for a girl, or you could have your girl sim be in that room if you wanted to. But it's definitely for a younger sim. When we get to there, you'll see why and what made it that way. Also, I'm really bad about spinning the room so I can see how things look from different angles. I'm sorry about that. I know it can cause flashes and issues for some people, and I'm sorry. If you have epilepsy, I should probably put an epilepsy warning on here that says, careful, lots of flashing lights. It isn't on purpose. I tried to cut as much of it out as I could, but I still see some. I just saw where I kind of got a little crazy and had some issues there where I was spinning the camera around. And again, I apologize for that. Now, what I'm doing is I'm starting on this bathroom. This bathroom was kind of a pain. I hated doing this bathroom. This bathroom was probably like my nightmare in this whole thing because I couldn't quite get the items to all fit and it just didn't make sense to me. And then I finally end up figuring it out. I ended up pulling it out a little bit, which allowed me to move the counter down and put that shower kind of at the end there once I moved the counter space around and stuff. And then I started playing with the mirrors. I found one from, I'm not sure which mirror that's from, but anyways, I end up using a mirror there and making it all the way around and then putting the shower at the end of the thing with the toilet next to it. I tried out this shelf that I'm about to put in, but I didn't really like it. I felt like it was just too much, and I was just not happy with it, so I ended up getting rid of it. Mostly because it clipped, and I hate clipping. Like, clipping is like a nightmare. It's so awful. I hate when things clip. It drives me nuts. So you will find that a lot of times I will madden myself by like messing with clipped items, moving them, because it drives me crazy. Pet peeves, what can I say? You can see there where I'm putting all the clutter on the countertops. I like to see like all that stuff, because when you walk into a bathroom, you know, at somebody's house, they always have like a bunch of lotions and things like that on there, or they'll have some little decorative stuff like these little flowers or the little photo that I put up there, but they'll also have some practical stuff like soap and, you know, tissues and that kind of stuff. So I end up putting that there, end up finding this rug that I kind of liked, and so I sized it down and put it at the foot of all these things, and then started messing with the floors. I ended up going with this blue color just because I felt like that bathroom was kind of off the front there, and it made sense to me for it to be kind of a beachy vibe, but not so beachy that it's, you know, beachy. But I would think that, you know, if you were coming in off the beach or off the water, you would want to take a quick shower. And this would be the room that you would do it in. So I would think that they would, like, you know, come in and kind of, you know, take a quick shower and then head back wherever, you know, either upstairs or off to their rooms kind of thing. You know, mom keeps it kind of there in that area. So then I started on the laundry room. I wanted the laundry room to feel kind of cramped and crowded, just because most laundry rooms are cramped and crowded. You have a lot of stuff in there. You usually typically use it kind of for storage. So I ended up putting a bunch of shelves on the wall, a bunch of things around that are for that, just to kind of make it look more realistic, because I like to have like a lot of clutter. Like I said before, I don't like to have anything that's empty or kind of sad looking. So I like to have a lot of stuff just kind of sitting around, but not so cluttered that it looks like it's junky, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to go into their room and be like, oh, I can't get in here because of all the junk, you know, even though that's probably more reality for all of us. We all know that it's true. Another little pro tip is, if you want something on a particular shelf, but the things are giving you a pain, you can always put a couple of the items on the clip spots, the spots that it snaps to, and then delete them when you are done. I do that a lot. It actually works. It's a great pro tip. I learned it watching another YouTuber. Hey, look at that. We can all learn things. I really liked this little laundry room. It felt kind of large, but not too large. And then ended up going over here and randomly changing this area, even though I wasn't really done with the laundry room. In a minute, I'll probably go back to the laundry room, I think. Yep, see, back in the laundry room. And then I end up filling up that shelf. Once again, eclectic builder. I jump from room to room, and I do lots of weird things. So you'll find that I'll start on the living room, and you'll think, oh, great, we're going to get the living room done. No, that's not going to happen. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to get halfway through the living room, find something for the bathroom, and go there. Or for the kitchen, because that's just the way I work. It's just who I am. That's how I build. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just hate looking through the menu, and when I find something, I'll either set it out on the floor, and you'll randomly have like a stack of lotion in the middle of the floor of the living room for a while, just because that's how I build. So here I'm trying to figure out what to put here, because I felt like it needed something after I put that plant there. So I ended up going with these little cute little bookshelves that are seats actually, but I ended up using them as little bookshelves, and ended up putting up some books and things on the top there as well. Then I couldn't figure out what shelf to use on there. I ended up using that one, and then going back over to the other side of the living room, because that's how I work. We know this. That's how I work. It's just the truth. Anyway, so I couldn't really find a plant that I liked in this corner. So I sat here and like played with this corner for like forever. So I ended up deleting a whole bunch of the living room make there. You'll see how it kind of cuts out. The reason for that is because I like ended up putting like 10 plants there, not liking any of them, and then finally downsizing that plant and putting it on that table. So then I started using, that's a piece of custom content there that I had, and I forgot that it was custom because I'm supposed to be building with no CC. It's actually a custom piece that I built or I made myself because I also make custom content for The Sims. But anyways, so I ended up deleting that because it wasn't working. Then I ended up changing the walls in that area of the living room and then heading out to the area there. You'll also see me put a plant on that one side, and then later it's like disappeared. If you like download the build right now, it's not in the build. The reason is because they couldn't get up the stairs with that particular item there for some reason. They kept giving me the I don't know what to do signals, you know, that what do I do? There's a cactus that's 10 miles from me, but I can't move because, yeah, anyway, we all hate that crap. Anywho, so, because I do play test my builds just to make sure that they're not janky, because I would hate to download a build and be like all ready to use it and then find out, oh darn, it doesn't work. That sucks. So I do play test the things that I think might be a little concerning, such as the stairs and things like that, where it's kind of important that they work, you know? I mean, it's kind of important. We all know that the Sims need to go upstairs. Anyways, I ended up filling that up with a bunch of clutter, and then I couldn't figure out where to put things. I just didn't like this living room space, so I ended up doing a bunch of spinning around and not liking it. And then I was also messing with this little corner where I have the little reading nook thingy. And then I went out on this patio that kind of spans the two buildings that are in this build, because I like that little open area that's still inside the house, where the kids could play when they were younger, possibly, or, you know, to where she could do some skill building or something like that. So you see me making the rooms there for the kids and the bathroom, which I actually end up editing that whole area over there, just because it ends up being too small. I can't get to the bathroom because I didn't think about the fact that the little boy would need the bathroom too, and just had it for the teenager, and which wouldn't work. So ended up going ahead and, or I should say the child sim, because I make a child sims room. It could be a boy or a girl who uses it. Anyway, so I am now just kind of cluttering up and putting in some skill stuff. And you'll see me putting things in the bedroom. Imagine that. The strangest stuff just appears in places. And there's me spinning again. I am so sorry about that. I will try to work on that a little bit in the next video. I really did think I cut a lot of it out, but it looks like I've still got quite a bit in there. So next, kind of playing with this little hallway, which I end up extending out a little bit in order to get the little boy away, or little girl away, into the bathroom. So I end up moving things around and kind of changing stuff. But for now, it's just kind of a little hallway. And then when I'm building this, I kind of accidentally, this is where extending out that hallway and making that area a little bit larger isn't filmed. After I get done with the bedroom here, I end up actually forgetting to, I apparently stopped and came back to it at some point, and I forgot to turn on, when I came back, I forgot to turn on the taping, the recording. So I didn't get part of this build here, so I can't really show it to you. You'll see at the end that it changes a lot from where I leave it in this video to where it actually ends up in the final build reveal. And again, I apologize for the length of this video. Like I say, this was a lot more video footage than I thought it would be, and I have never done cutting, or recording, editing, so it was a little difficult to figure out like where to cut and what to cut, how to clip things together and stuff. So I think I figured it out pretty well. I've only got a couple of really choppy areas, and then the like swinging back and forth of the camera because I've got it going way too fast. I think that's part of it, is that it's sped up so much to try and compensate for the amount of time that's in the video. So I think that will be better also in future builds, because I don't think they'll take me as much time as this one did. Just because this one was done over several days, and I ended up kind of getting a couple of different styles and liking things and not liking things, and then moving and that kind of stuff. So hopefully, usually I don't have as much trouble figuring out like what I want for a specific build, because I already know kind of a general shape in my head when I start building. I like to look at floor plans and things like that to get inspiration. I also am part of an inspiration for builders, where people are only allowed to post real homes on Facebook, which is actually lovely. Lots of inspiration from there. Quite a bit of interesting floor plans and different cultures and different areas. Just different things that you probably wouldn't have thought of, because it's not really something you see in your area. So I kind of really like it, like a mountain cottage or like a beach villa kind of thing. So I found that is like a great inspiration for The Sims. So if you want to join it, you're more than welcome to. I'm sure they'll let you in if you love to build. The only rules are that you cannot post any Sims builds. You can only post your real life photos, which is kind of cool, because it keeps people from, just flooding it with a bunch of Sims builds, because, even though we get inspired by each other, it's nice to see things that are actually real, and we can kind of go off of those things to where it's not exact replicas, which is kind of cool. I like that anyway. So here I'm just trying to get the daughter's room, or the teen's room, done. So what I've done is kind of this green and pink motif, and I really like the pink and green together. I found that it looks really nice, and it kind of come together really well. I ended up going with pretty much everything pink and green in the whole room, which I liked. And it ends up being really cute teen room. It reminds me of my bedroom when I was a kid, except for it's not as messy. Yeah, if I was doing reality, this would have like clothing everywhere, because I was the messiest child ever. Still pretty messy, honestly, if you want to get technical, but we won't go there. As an adult, you kind of learn to get things done. Anyway, so here I'm just kind of cluttering it up, putting some nail polish, doing things that a normal teen would have in their room, books and perfumes and lots of, posters from their favorite bands and their favorite items and stuff. And then some nicer stuff, because she's a little bit older, or he's a little bit older. And I think this is probably a girl's room though. She's a little bit older, and she's, starting to find her femininity, or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's femininity, whatever. Anyway, so here I'm putting things on the tables and getting everything all set up. And then I go to this bathroom, which is a shared bathroom for the two kids. Kind of starts off as like a pink, but ends up in kind of orangey, but ends up, I think, blue. I think it ends up blue and gray, just because I was like, you wouldn't want to do it too pink, because then the boy would feel a little uncomfortable in there. He might not like it so much if it was a boy, just that kind of thing. And then his color seems to be yellow and hers seems to be pink. So we ended up going with yellow and pink, because he's got a lot of yellow and green in his room, and she's got a lot of pink and green in her room. So at first I kind of made this green colored, because I was thinking, we'll do green because they both like green, but it ended up not working. Again, here's me cluttering the countertops, but I don't clutter them as much as I do in the parents' bath, or in the public bathroom and the parents' bathroom, or master bathroom, whichever you want to call it. Anyways, I just put a couple of little items up there, just to get them going. And then I started playing with this kind of orangey color, and like I say, I don't end up doing that orangey color, end up changing it all to blue, just because I felt like it all matched better, and I liked it better. So then I go into the hallway that I've created, and I started putting some stuff down because it needed something that just looked really bare and really, silly. So I ended up putting a little table there and putting a mirror and some plants and stuff there, a little lighting, that kind of stuff, just to kind of give it a little bit of that homey feeling, like mom made it like cute, so that when guests come over, they have this nice, pretty little area to sit and play games or to kind of, go into the kids' rooms. So anyways, and then I put some photos on the wall, and then I jump out to the exterior, I believe, on the patio there, next. Yep, I ended up going out there and doing this. I wanted this to be kind of like an area where all the family could kind of hang out and play. Mom could be sunbathing while the kids are doing things, swimming, or, the daughter or son could be out on the boat or on the jet ski that I end up putting there, but they could also entertain. So if they have friends over, it could be a really nice entertaining area. So I end up putting a little, kind of like a little cookout area, which is like a really nice cookout area, has its own built-in grill and countertops, and they could do like full-on cooking out there. So I ended up doing that, to kind of give them a place to where they can kind of hang out and have like family time, but also kind of give them a place to entertain if they wanted to have guests over. Mom and dad could, or just anybody could have friends over and have time to kind of spend out on the patio, kind of hanging out. And since this is kind of for a family, that's the reason I keep saying mom and dad and the kids, is because I have a family that I'm going to actually move into this Island Dream home and play them in that Island Dream home. They're the Williams family, and they are very, very cool, awesome family. They are a very awesome family. Anyways, dad is a writer. Mom is a creator. She enjoys fabrication and woodworking, so that's what she does. But anyways, back to the build. We are putting in some stuff. I put in a couple of different tables here. Didn't really like any of them. Ended up going with a completely different colors and style in that area. Although I did leave the wicker furniture, I did not end up doing the table, the wicker table. Ended up doing these little chairs over here to kind of give a little seating area there, and then put in some more lighting to kind of light it up, because it's dark out at the point, and I noticed that it was really dark out there still. There's the little jet ski I talked about earlier. And then now there's a little table I end up putting there. And then I put some little items out there to kind of bring it a homey feel, just to kind of give it a little bit of character and bring out the clutter, because clutterbug, that's who I am. Then I moved up to the master bedroom, or the parents' bedroom if you're going by my Sims, which I am. So ended up doing a pink because the mom is obsessed with pink. She really loves pink. She wears pink on all of her clothing. And she dressed her baby in all pink. It was really tragic, honestly. I hate pink. Don't know why I made this family be completely pink, but I did. I just found a really cute pink top and went from there. And then that's who she became, this obsessed with pink person. I make elaborate, ridiculous stories for my Sims, and when I do, if I end up doing Let's Plays, you will find that my Sims all have elaborate, very, very involved stories, because that's how I roll. Anyways, right here I'm putting some plants and some stuff around on this little table that I'm going to put there, this little dresser. It's not the only dresser that the parents have. The parents have another dresser that I'm going to put over on the other side, kind of give them like a little area where they have a little closet built in, but not really built in, which we'll see in a little bit. Right now I'm just kind of making them a little like area where they can kind of sit and relax and be together and not have to worry about the kids interrupting or changing the channel, or complaining about the channel, because we all know that children complain about the channel. Lord, do they ever? Do they ever? Oy, and all they want to watch are cartoons. Frozen 1,000,001 times. Oy. Anywho. So right here, I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to put there on the back of the items there, and I move some stuff around, kind of give them a little table here, and I thought it would be neat if it was kind of storage as well, because I figure a mom would want to keep stuff kind of put away, and she would need more storage in this room because there's not a built-in closet like there is in a lot of master bedrooms. I didn't put in the closet because I felt like with the open airy feel that it would kind of close things in more. Also, it didn't really fit well in the room when I built it in, and I ended up deleting it in the beginning of the build, the part that I deleted. So I ended up not having that there. So anywho, now I'm just cluttering up the little dresser, for the mom and dad there. So got a bunch of clutter on there, of course, because, again, clutter person. Then I wanted that part of the room to kind of be separated from the other part of the room, because I felt like it should really kind of be separate. Like that there should be less, there should be more division in the room, but not so closed off that it looked, crowded or cluttered. So I ended up doing this to kind of give it a little bit of privacy in the bedroom area, so that if they, the kids came up there, or they were, they would have like their bedroom wouldn't be like right out in the open. It's kind of, covered, and you could bring the little curtains down and it would be separated. You could kind of hide stuff, if your bed isn't made, or you're, got clothing that's stacked up and not really in your drawers, which is totally me, 100%. I hate folding and putting away laundry. Hate it. Anyways, then I moved on to the bathroom. The bathroom was a little bit of a challenge, mostly because I really wanted to get in a one of those little like privacy bathrooms where you have like it walled off, which I end up figuring out how to do by extending out the wall a little bit at some point. You don't really see me doing that because I just did it off camera and deleted that because, again, the video was getting super, super long and I wanted to kind of prevent that again. I ended up moving the counters around a whole bunch here. Probably could have cut a lot of that, but I felt like I'd cut so much already. I don't know if you really care about that, just because, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see what the thought process and what other people do in their builds to kind of help yourself build. At least I found by watching YouTube videos about builders and like Marmalade, and I watch Little Simsy and Deligracy, all of those, and James Turner. Like I watch all their build stuff, and Simlissy. Anyways, those are my favorites. You'll find me mentioning them or things that they've done in their builds that I kind of copied, because I don't want to be like I don't want to steal their stuff and then not say anything. Like, oh yeah, I learned this from, it's not magic. I did watch them do things and then go, oh yeah, that's a great idea, or that's a really great way to clutter. Those kinds of things I've learned by watching those videos. Okay, so this is the end of the videos. I'm going to go to the final views, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you did. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.